Y'all already know what it is. So, as you can see, my streak is zero. It ended today, or at least it stayed at zero because it had ended yesterday. I was at six on Saturday 23rd, and then it ended with Bryson Stott didn't get a hit. And then with ended again today, or stayed at zero today, with both Stephen Kwan and Jose Ramirez not getting a hit. So, I had thought about a lot of different options beforehand originally. One of the original picks I was thinking about going with was Giancarlo Stanton and what is it, Aaron Judge. But since Giancarlo Stanton was given the day off by Aaron Boone for whatever reason, I decided to not go with Judge. I had thought about the Yankees, the Washington Nationals playing at the Yankees, right? The rookie pitching, what's his name? Brad Lord will probably have a tough time. Just going against a veteran lineup, and looked like he did. I had a feeling that the Yankees were gonna have a good game, but once Judge was in the lineup, I kind of, decided to not pick anybody else from the lineup. So if I would have picked Judge, and I was actually considering Bellinger as the last minute when I found out, Stanton wasn't in the lineup, but I didn't go with that. There's just so many different things was going through because sometimes one player being out of the lineup can throw off the flow. At least I've seen before in the past. So who else I was thinking about going with? I was thinking about going with Michael Garcia at one point, but a good thing I didn't. Of course, didn't go with him. He went hitless today. Let's see. I was thinking about this position player right here as well. Agar. He's a rookie this year. He had already seen the Royals pitcher. The Royals pitcher, Cameron, is a rookie as well. He had got a hit against him early in the year, but I was trying not to have like recency bias in a way. Just because he got a hit against him earlier this year, that he would get a hit against him again. So that kind of stopped me from picking him. But sometimes bad teams at the end of the year, it's also a division game. They can get hot and start playing well. And so, if I would, of course, would have picked him, he would end up getting hit. But sometimes, hindsight is 2020. Afterwards, also Smith is a rookie as well for the White Sox. So I was thinking about picking some players off of the Royals, but Smith, I know he has been talking about how he wants to be a really good pitcher and so forth. So I was like, nah, maybe not him. And then some other options I was thinking. I know Strider had been struggling, so I was thinking about Xavier Edwards. But for some reason, I just didn't. I don't know. Just didn't pull the trigger. At least someone probably shouldn't say pull the trigger, but I didn't make the decision on Xavier Edwards. I can't exactly figure out why. Maybe I was thinking Strider will have a good game, so he got a hit off of him first at bat. As you can see, triple on the first inning off of a low curveball off of Spencer Strider, and so I thought Strider may bounce back and maybe have a good game. So that's potentially why I didn't pick Xavier Edwards. And then I was thinking about picking Simpson. Some of my thoughts was like kind of staying with players. I was trying to focus in and picking players that was maybe batting like 280 and up, that had a little bit more contact, but that also doesn't guarantee anything because Luis Ariz, produces weak contact, and they can easily shift on him, and it's been kind of sometimes a struggle to pick him, or he can sometimes be an easy out just because you make contact. It's not as like it was about 5 years ago with the shift and all the analytics. When you're making contact, it's not just automatic base hit anymore. Guys are throwing much faster, stronger, more spin on the ball. They're shifting and so forth. So it makes it a little bit more difficult for the typical contact hitter, like back in the day, and so forth. So I was thinking about picking Simpson because he was hot lately, but I shouldn't say good thing I didn't pick him because my streak ended anyways with the people I picked. Was considering Diaz, but I thought B was gonna have a good game. But I guess I was definitely wrong on that, obviously. And who else I was considering? I was considering what is it, Alex Bregman, to go against the what is it, the Baltimore's rookie pitcher, but he's not a rookie, a typical rookie, because he played over in Japan. He's just a rookie in the United States, so he has, even though Bregman saw him earlier this year, And Bregman went 0 for 3 against him earlier this year. I was thinking about almost like a revenge. Okay, Bregman gonna get him back, but I considered not picking him, so I was right on that pick to not pick Bregman. And sometimes, with these young players like Anthony, even though he's playing well, they can be streaky at times. So I just think about considering any other players there. Um, and then the Orioles, Henderson, I was thinking about considering him, but he was going against a veteran lefty. I think he was his first time starting this year, and he's sometimes hasn't been good against lefties. Henderson. So let's see here. When did Henderson actually get a hit? Did he get a hit in the first inning? No, he struck out and then walked, lined out, and then so he got a double in the eighth inning. So he didn't get a hit against the left-hander, but he eventually got a hit against the right-hander. Let's see here. I also was considering kind of bright. What's his name? Bryce Miller hasn't been pitching all that great, and so I was considering some Padre players like Manny Machado, but I decided to not go with him. He's 0 for 1 right now. Of course, the game is still early, but I wasn't considering any other Padre players because as they can say, they've been sometimes hard to decide on to pick them. And then let's see here, Neto. Of course, gets a home run against DeGrom. It looks like. Let's see here. Yeah, DeGrom's pitching. That's the second time this time I decided not to pick against DeGrom, even though I was like DeGrom may not have the best game, and then he gives up a home run to Neto. So, and I was thinking about Neto, but sometimes you may not get all the picks. And I just kind of stayed away from this game, because sometimes with the St. Louis offense, maybe I should have had that same mindset with Cleveland with their sometimes lack of offense. So I'll probably always stay away from them. Nate Burleson was somebody I was thinking about picking, but I can't remember if he had good numbers or not against Oliverio. But also I was trying to look at the veteran versus rookie matchups a little bit more. So it's a lot of different options, and sometimes it can be a little challenging to think about so many different potential options at the time, and then make a final decision. And as you see, by me staying away and not even really considering anybody here besides Burleson, I missed out on missed out on opportunities there. So as I mentioned, you should always consider everybody. Even from this game, I was thinking about picking Bryce Terang and then Frelick. But as you can see, Frelick would have ended my streak today, even though it already ended. I was thinking about picking them because them two have been playing well, but I noticed Frelick had been in the top of the lineup more often than not. When they both in the lineup, Terang would be lower in the lineup. So I was kind of thinking like, even though his numbers look good with him batting fifth on the year and them sometimes switching spots, made me a little hesitant. And as you can see, if I would have picked both of them, my streak would have ended regardless with one of them. And sometimes it's a hit or miss with me sometimes picking Yelich. So I kind of think about some of the history I have with some guys and so forth. Who was pitching today for Woodruff? Woodruff ended my streak. I thought early in the year when I picked against Woodruff, it was Woodruff's first game back. Right, I'm like, okay, he rusty, coming back. This guy was end up dealing. Let's see here. Who was it against? His first game back, man, from shoulder injury. First game back. Let's see who it was. Who he pitched against first game. There we go. Miami. I'm thinking this dude ended up pitching 6 innings, 2 hits. I'm like, okay, his first game, maybe because it was against Miami or the specific team. I was just like, man, I was just thinking his first game back, he ain't gonna, do that well or something like that, but he ended up pitching very well. So, and then this game, I did not expect this at all. So you had Senga pitching and then Sanchez pitching. So both of them end up not having obviously the best games. Well, Senga probably a little bit better than Sanchez, but didn't expect. So I kind of looked away from, these guys right here. Anybody in this line. I was thinking Marte against Sanchez, but even though he hasn't been hitting well against lefties this year. But I was thinking Marte. It just sometimes can be a little interesting in terms of what will make you, make the final decision to make a pick on somebody. So yeah, we just got to keep chugging at it and just believe in our, our processes that we're gonna keep improving and finding the balance between psychology, psychological and so forth, and stats, and not letting emotions get in and feel. So just making a decision off of that. And so, yep, tomorrow I'm thinking about picking Michael Garcia because he's good against lefties, even though Perez has been having a good year. Maybe he'll have a bounce back game since he went 0 for 4, but necessarily not trying to just think like that. Trying to think of being better, but think of each game as its own entity. And I know the Cubs didn't play today, but Nico Horner, I've had success with him in the past, even though, he has, ended my streak before, but he's also extended my streak as well. But I know Verlander overall is a good hitter's ballpark. Has not been pitching well, overall this season. So that's some of my earlier thoughts. And then I will go into some of the other potential picks I was thinking about making for this game. And then so if these guys are in the lineup or if I finalize with them, I may just stick with them. Sometimes you can end up changing into a loss, or you can end up, changing into, extending your streak. So I've seen it both ways. And then on Wednesday, thinking about picking Ronald Acuna against Gusto, a rookie. He went against the Braves this year, and pitched pretty well. But Ronald Acuna didn't play that game. Same thing with Nico. He's going against a rookie. You know, so, and hopefully he's in that game because you can see the game's going to lock at 105, and hoping that Nico's in that game at that time. I mean, in the lineup later night. If not, then I'm only going to have one batter for that night because it locks on the earliest player. So, but yes, like as I mentioned, we're going to keep at it, man. We're going to keep playing till the wheels fall off until the end of the season, and go ahead and take this grand prize, man. I got to stay positive and stick with it, even through some of the failures. So, like always, to the next one.